Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. And football is back with Premier League started last weekend, so we're just going to do a roundup of that and the Championship. Might touch a bit on Wrexham, see if they can keep the Hollywood story going. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's video. The game that kicked off the Premier League season was Liverpool against Bournemouth. Liverpool went 2-0 up, and then Bournemouth got back to 2-2. It looked like a good game, to be fair, but unfortunately, Antoine Semenyo received racial abuse, which just shouldn't be in football. He's been arrested. But Chiesa and Salah scored the winners, and obviously it was an emotional night for Liverpool because of Diego Jota sadly passing away. But yeah, that really kicked off the season with a bang. And then Saturday was a good day, but I think Sunday was the real highlight because Man United against Arsenal was a really good game. As a Man United fan, I thought we played really well. We should have got a point at least. I feel like because Ruben Amorim's now had a pre-season in charge of Man United like he wanted to when he came in. I feel like that sort of got his philosophy properly in line with what he wants a club to play like. And if you look at how Arsenal played, they played really poorly, but just shows you the quality they've got to hang on to that result. But they just scored from a corner, which they did last year. You might as well just call them Corner FC. But yeah, as a Man United fan, obviously you wanted to win, but the result is getting better. But we just need to pick up a result and get points on the board. Then yesterday, Leeds beat Everton by a controversial penalty decision. James Tarkowski gave away the penalty, and a lot of people think it shouldn't have been a penalty because like his hands behind his back, and he's like, it's one of them in football now where the ref either gives it or he doesn't. And I think with consistency, you have to you just have to do it where if it's below the sleeve line, then you just have to give it a handball, or you don't get consistency because then it'll just be determined by the referee's like own personal opinion. But I feel like that could be a real struggle for the Premier League and the fans and the refs getting scrutiny and everything like that if that isn't solved. Man City looked really good, unfortunately, against Wolves. They beat them 4-0. A couple of the new signings like Reinders, he looked very, very good. Sunderland won against West Ham. They beat them 3-0 and they looked quite good as well. I think Sunderland will stay up because they've made a lot of signings in the summer, and if they didn't make the signings, they tried to make the right ones. But yeah, I personally think they'll stay up in the Premier League. I don't think Leeds will, and I don't think Burnley will. I want Leeds to go down, so I'm a Man United fan. I don't like Leeds. But yeah, I hope Sunderland stay up. But Brentford might struggle this year because obviously they've lost Thomas Frank and also a lot of their main key players. Nottingham Forest beat them 3-1. Chelsea against Palace drew 0-0. Mark Gahey is out of contract at the end of the season. Who knows where he's going to go. But same as Eberechi Eze, he should have had a free kick, but it was disallowed because of Gahey. He went towards the wall, and it was closer than a metre towards the wall, which I don't understand that rule because football is a physical game and it's contact. But yeah, that was just a weird decision. But yeah, I think Eze might leave, but obviously Palace will struggle if both Gahey and Eze leave because they've been demoted into the Europa Conference League. Now moving on to the Championship, the main story is whether Wrexham will get into the Premier League. I don't think they will. I think they'll do well if they stay up in the Championship, but it's not been a great start. They lost to Southampton on the opening day. They got unlucky because they conceded twice in 90 plus minutes. I watched that game. It looked quite good, to be fair. And then they lost 3-2 to West Brom as well last weekend, just gone. But I think with them, they've made some good signings, so that's why I think they'll stay up. And they are playing Sheffield Wednesday at home this Saturday. And Sheffield Wednesday is just a club in a nightmare at the moment. Obviously, Chansiri, he's just ruining the club. They've got a stand which is about to fall down nearly. It's not safe. But I feel like it happened with Morecambe as well, where clubs are just going down, 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 and the owners are just ruining them. Morecambe though have signed a deal where the Punjab Warriors, I think it is, will save them and they can still play football and they will still exist. But Sheffield Wednesday, I hope that they survive because my dad likes Sheffield Wednesday. He always used to go as a kid, and I've been a lot. And apart from Man United, I always want them to do well. But yeah, it's a really sad story for all Sheffield Wednesday fans and just football in general because we are a massive team. But Birmingham also came up. They got a draw on their opening game. It was a harsh penalty again, a handball to Ipswich, and then they won last weekend. I think they'll stay up as well. I think they might even push for playoffs, and it'll be a really good season if they do that. They stormed the league last year. If you've got Amazon Prime, go and watch their documentary with Tom Brady and the owners. That's a really good documentary just to like open your eyes into how a good football club's ran. Like it really makes you watch out for Birmingham. There's two main games what really stand out for me in the Premier League this weekend. On Saturday, it's Man City against Spurs. That's a 12:30 kickoff. That'll be a good game to see where Spurs are at, whether they will push on to get European football. But if you look at the season their Man United had last year, it was just awful. Obviously, Thomas Frank is now Tottenham manager, and it looks like they're more stable. But Man City just look incredible. And then Newcastle Liverpool on Monday. That'll be a good game. Obviously, the Alexander Isak situation, maybe after that game, you might see a bid go in for him again. Newcastle want around 150 million for Alexander Isak, but Liverpool bidded about 120. Liverpool look good, really, really good going forward, but it's just the defensive bit. So I feel like if Newcastle can get to them and like exploit them, then they might have a chance. But on the weekend, they didn't score, so that's a real problem because they don't have a out and out striker really. Because they're trying to get Wissa, but that's just complicated because Brentford want to get a replacement for him. But yeah, that is the video all wrapped up. It's my first one in a while. So don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know your feedback down in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.